Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill coming to you from downtown Portland. What a beautiful day today's going to be. For some areas, including Portland, we will be within a degree or two, becoming the warmest day that we've had so far this year. I've projected that a couple of times, and so far it hasn't come true. We've been as warm as 85. Today, the weather models love 86, so we'll see if we make it. If you look at a satellite picture on your phone app or watching the TV news or whatever, you'll notice a band of clouds offshore right here on the visible shot this morning. And this is a push of cooler weather that will come in tomorrow. So a couple things look fairly certain. Number one, we'll see increasing cloudiness during the day tomorrow. Could actually cloud over for a period of time with passing cloud cover as we get rolling into the afternoon. Number two, uh, those clouds could produce some traces of rain, a sprinkle or a spritzy shower. I will tell you, weather models are insistent that we don't see any rain tomorrow, that the only inland rain would be up in Western Washington and maybe a few scattered showers around Seattle, but nothing really in Oregon except for maybe up around Astoria, for example. So we'll see. And then number three, this is cooler weather that will ride a west breeze coming in and actually pick up winds. I think will become noticeably breezy at times at the coast on Saturday, here in the valley, and perhaps more importantly, the National Weather Service has actually issued a wind watch for parts of the gorge out into the Columbia Basin for Saturday afternoon and evening. Now, this technically includes not Hood River, but White Salmon through the Dalles and then out toward Pelton along I-84. And you can see it right there. I'll talk more about that coming up. That's the most significant watch of any kind, I think, that we have for the coming day. So more on all of that coming up. All of this is always brought to you by the Momentous Wealth podcast. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, listen on Spotify for a variety of investment topics meant to educate you. If you're like me and you're saving for retirement, you have some mutual funds, 401ks, that type of thing, licensed in both Oregon and Washington, the Momentous Wealth Management team. Okay, we thank you for that. Okay, here's a satellite picture. Early morning, so the visible aspect kind of has the shadow on it, but you can see how clear we are here in Oregon and Washington. There's that cool front clearly setting offshore that's on track to come in tomorrow afternoon. Now, here's the watch warning map from the Weather Service, and I'll click on high wind watch, and it would give you the particulars, again, including the cities of Arlington and White Salmon, the Dalles. This is along I-84, SR-14, the Columbia River. This is Saturday afternoon through the evening. West winds 25 to 40 with a gust of 45 to 60 miles per hour, potentially. So, pretty good Garden Friday, windy day for you folks out there at the very least. Again, that's Saturday afternoon into the evening. Now, here's what the European model shows wind speed wise. And we'll start this at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So the winds are from the west. Again, this shows there could be some gusts that are 30 miles per hour along the coast, shows some gust of 20 to 25 in the valley. I think all of us get at least some noticeable breezes picking up after a light wind day on this Friday. And then in green, here's the main wind area from the gorge out toward Pendleton. This shows you some gust reaching 40 miles per hour or better. And again, the Weather Service believes there could be some spike gusts go as high as 50 to 60 miles per hour in that area. Now I'll play this into Sunday. The winds fade somewhat Saturday overnight, and here's Sunday afternoon. Still a west wind, but notice the gorge. That shows there could be a 31 mile per hour wind gust out toward Hood River. So we'll see, and the Dalles. We'll see if that happens in the gorge, but not like it will be Saturday. Again, this is Sunday afternoon. Still some 20 mile per hour gusts in the valley, and still noticeably breezy along the coast. This shows 20 to 30, 35, 38 mile per hour wind gusts along the coast. So we'll see if that happens. Sometimes these wind models tend to be overdone, but you get the idea. Both days with that new air mass coming in will produce some noticeable winds. This has a wind bullseye down along the southwestern Oregon coast into Northern California, by the way. We'll look for that. It shows maybe some 50 mile per hour wind gust Sunday afternoon down in that direction. Okay, I want to jump and talk about temperature real quick. I mentioned to start that this could be by a degree or two the warmest we've been in Portland so far this year. This is 5 o'clock this afternoon. Shows about 80 up in Seattle, mid 80s in Portland, Salem. There's an 87 down, it looks like in Roseburg area. We've got 60s to about 70 along the coast. There's a 90 out in Ontario. Today, most inland areas are in the 80s. And then I'm going to play this into tomorrow. Now, one thing I didn't mention is that tomorrow afternoon into early evening, there's actually a heat advisory for parts of Harney, Malheur, and Baker counties. That's southeastern Oregon. And where you see these kind of brick red colors, This is the area that on Saturday will be 90 degrees plus. And look at Ontario right there, 98 degrees projected potentially for Saturday afternoon. So that's why there's that heat advisory. There's a 97 as well. Now, look what happens here on the west side. After being up in the 80s today, this is tomorrow, Saturday, we're down closer to 70 degrees and mid 60s up in Seattle. So that's a pretty impressive cool off here on the west side of the Cascades for Saturday when compared to the sunny weather we're going to have on this Friday. So back to that front that's coming in, and I mentioned we'll definitely get a period of some cloudiness coming in tomorrow. The question is, will we get any rainfall or who will? So this is Saturday early morning. There's some showers. This is the North American 3 kilometer model. Does a pretty good job, I think, up around Western Washington. And then here's later in the morning around this will be 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. This does show some shower activity up around Astoria and Long Beach, the Olympics, Western Washington. Everybody else is dry. Here we're now getting into the afternoon hours. This would be 2 p.m. in the afternoon. There's a clump of rain, potentially Seattle, Olympia, certainly up north, up into Washington. It shows some traces of rain, potentially Kelso, Longview, through Portland, out into the West Gorge. But really, that's about it. I'll just back this up a little bit. So, yeah, you can see we're on the northern edge, and maybe we get a trace of rain here in Portland, maybe we don't, but absolutely expecting some rain to move across Washington and all dry off to the east. And then those rain chances basically fizzle and go away as we get rolling into Sunday. Here's the overall flow pattern. And one thing I'm going to point out is once we get through today's sunny 80s and even 90s out in Eastern Oregon tomorrow, right now, the models are not picking up on any hot weather over the next week to two. Obviously, that could change, but let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the European 500 millibar, 18,000 foot flow level. And here is that ridge that's producing today's warmth. And then just like that, here's tomorrow. You can see the main trough is with a low that's well up into Canada. So again, we're on the tail end of this thing, but certainly you can see where the contour lines dip. That's the upper level trough. That's the cooler push of air coming in during the day tomorrow. And then there's ridging out in the Pacific. Look at this high, 594. But if the models are correct, this ridge never really pushes inland. And we actually go on a run of days starting Saturday, tomorrow, throughout much of next week with highs only in the 70s here in the Willamette Valley, with some chances of rain primarily up in Washington, Seattle, northward toward the Canadian border. Here is Thursday of next week, June 5th. There's a system. See how the contours are kind of what we call zonal, from aligned, parallel, if you will, from west to east. We call that a zonal flow. And there is the chance of rain mainly up to our north, but certainly we're in the zonal flattening flow that would produce temperatures not overly warm, only in the 70s. And then it's primarily dry. Maybe there's a little bit of warming going into around the 10th. But now here is Wednesday, June 11th. Here's another weak trough coming in. Could produce a chance of showers, would certainly bring us some cloudiness, and temperatures probably doing well to be low 70s. And then there's another one that comes in. This is Saturday the 14th. So we'll stop it there. I don't think the models are going to have much consistency beyond that. But so if that's true, June is setting up, and this was covered in my my summer outlook. I posted an update to that yesterday, and I encourage you to click on that and watch it. But there are no signs that June is going to be a runaway hot month. It looks like June has a chance to either be near normal or just slightly above, but overall have more comfortable days than not. And if we're going to get into just some blistering hot heat waves, that will happen in the months of July and August. So we'll keep you updated on that. All right. Here are the 9 o'clock temps on what is a gorgeous Friday morning. We'll take you around the horn. Medford's all dry. 98 today. I didn't touch on that. 89 tomorrow, a bit cooler, and then well up into the 80s. So that's Medford. Very, I mean, overall in the 80s, pretty nice weather. Let's go up north. Sunny today, 77. There are some showers in the Seattle area, certainly to the north tomorrow. We saw that. And then Sunday, the rain chance is gone. You're 68, and then you're comfortable with that. And we talked about this, that chance of rain with a system up near the Canadian border on Thursday of next week. Okay. Pendleton, I bet you this is going to be all dry. Yep. 85, 87, and then cooler to start next week, 70s, 80, 81. Very comfortable next week. Look at that, about 80, 81, 81, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's certainly good news, right? Central Oregon, all dry, 88 today, 84 tomorrow. There's that cool down Sunday, Monday, and staying pretty comfortable, mostly 70s potentially through a good chunk of next week. Again, that's a nice first week of the month of June. Seattle, increasing clouds tomorrow. Could be a sprinkle, but no credible chance of anything measurable. 70s after today in the mid 80s, 70s Saturday, Sunday, and staying comfortable throughout much of next week. Eugene's going to be about the same, right? Eugene has that breezy icon there on Sunday. And again, I think most of us are going to at least see noticeable breezes Saturday, noticeable breezes on Sunday, as we mentioned. Here's North Bend, 60s, all dry, 69 today. Newport's probably going to be the same. Yeah. There's some breezes on Sunday into Monday. Okay. Slight shower chance on Saturday, what we talked about. Boy, it's getting noisy in the newsroom. Sorry about that. I'm almost done. All right. I'm here at the KGW newsroom. Hazelden Tire Pros is my sponsor for Portland's 7-day forecast in Clark County off of I-5 for all of your tire needs. If you stop by, tell them that you appreciate them sponsoring my 7-day on portlandweather.com, my weather site. 86 today in Portland. Slight chance of a sprinkle or trace of rain tomorrow, but overall Saturday looks like sunshine to start in the Willamette Valley, period of passing clouds in the afternoon, and increasing west to northwest breezes. Still a noticeable northwest breeze on Sunday. Look at the comfortable weather, 70s all the way into Thursday of next week. Wow. Okay. Well, that's your update. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. Have a great Friday. Enjoy today's sun and enjoy the cool down coming our way for the weekend. And the Grand Floral Parade, if you live in the Portland area, of course, is Saturday evening. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It helps me out. You'll be notified when I post, and I will talk to you soon.